Welcome to the Fayetteville Fire Podcast, your source for all the fire, safety, and sometimes random information you never knew you wanted. I'm Captain Steve Shakeshaft, your host for the podcast, and I got the best job ever. Let's talk about it. How's it going, Chief?
Pretty good.
Not too bad. We the last few months have been so crazy. I try to get you in here after every quarterly report, but things have just been hectic with budget and 911 center and everything else. So I wanted to get you in as fast as I could to talk about things happening.
Yeah, happy to be here, but like you said, the last couple months have been occupied with other things. So.
Yeah. So when we look back at what you're coming up, heck, on your next quarterly report, not before long. But
it's fourth Monday of August, so 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Yep. So we'll be able to talk a little bit about what we've already talked about, and then also just a little sneak peek into what's been going on and what we'll talk about in the future. And one of the big things is we highlighted Lucy, our latest crisis response dog, coming to the department, but now we're already on track for the next one, right?
Yes. The third dog is Clover, and she's a yellow lab, and she's actually coming to town this week to do the final overnight training, and then she'll be back hopefully by the second quarter presentation. I can introduce her to council, but we will have her by the end of August.
And then all three shifts will be covered with that support service, that next tool in the toolbox, right?
That's correct. All three shifts will have a dog assigned, and of course they can cross shifts and come in whenever needed. So. We're excited about the program. It seems to be working well.
So you've had Lucy, luckily, at the station your office is at. That's been pretty nice having her around, right?
I do. I think she's she sometimes she doesn't want to come in my door. I think she knows I'm beyond help, but she comes in from time to time and makes everybody happy.
I used to joke that Griffith could smell all the stress on me and he would turn around and say, nope, he's done for. But Lucy seems to have taken a liking to me, so I enjoy being around her. But speaking of the stressors of the job, you highlight, as always, in every quarterly report, call volume and how are things looking in calls that we're running and how busy this city's staying, because we stay so busy around here.
Yeah, we're as busy as ever. I think I don't have them in front of me, but I think we're back to pre-COVID numbers and gaining as the city continues to grow and develop. We look for those numbers to keep going.
And the lion's share, as always, being EMS calls. People, when I go out and recruit, I tell folks, fire's the biggest danger, that the highest risk thing that we do, but the majority of it is the EMS calls, the squads out there on the streets every day.
Yeah, fire is actually 1% of what we do, and people think, "Oh my goodness, why is the fire department the second biggest budget, but they only do 1% of fire?" But 1% of 30,000 is still a whole lot of fires.
Yeah, and
that's so you're looking at 300 fires a year, and it's still it's what we're chartered to do. But the lion's share of our calls are medical calls. And that's what our folks, it's not it's not where you take your videos and your pictures at, but it's a critical service that we enjoy doing.
Yeah, and the 1% of fires, you say that like it's a small number. It's still 300 or more fires a year that we're running. So it's almost one fire a day is no small task,
right?
On a city our size. So, and when it comes to those calls, one thing that you've said in council a few times, I've heard you say it in the past, with our response times, people want to highlight and or criticize any department's response times, but it's always that little bit of ebb and flow as long as you're in that benchmark time range, which we always are, right?
Yeah, well, I tell council the two things I can manage or handle are our alarm handling time and our turnout time. And that alarm handling time is when the 911 dispatcher receives the phone call and gets the call dispatched. And the turnout time is from the time our folks receive the dispatch to the time they get in the truck. So we have control over that. If people aren't turning calls out, which Lisa and her crowd do a great job, we're always below on that. And if our people aren't getting out of bed or getting off the couch or getting out of the office on the truck in time, then we can deal with that. The travel time is what we don't have control over. You know, that's an average of, is it the house beside the fire department, or is it the house at the furthest corner of the district? And that's where the ebb and flow comes from.
Yeah. But it's always maintaining under that 8 minute,
Oh, absolutely.
that benchmark.
Yeah, for this quarter, the first quarter, we were at 7 minutes and 19 seconds, which is a lot lower than what we've been. But our travel time was lower. It was 19 seconds lower than it was the first quarter of 2025. So there's where you make your time up.
Yeah, and that's like you said, depending on where the house is, how many speed bumps are between you and it, or all that, those things come into play.
Correct. Time of day, traffic, weather.
Yeah. So once we've gotten to those calls and we get to those fires, one of the things you present as well is a lot of different stats and data over the types of fires we're running, where they're originating. And I had circled that night that under 20% were starting in the kitchen, which we know is typically the number one cause of house fires is in the kitchen. So I kind of liked that number, but without context, I don't know exactly what that's reflecting. But then there's a lot of other stuff in there. Is there anything that stuck out to you as far as this is really good or this is something we need to focus on?
Well, if you look at the fire starting in the kitchen, that's our number one place where fires start. And that's either unattended cooking or, accidental fires. They don't have to happen.
Yeah.
So that's where we've put our bread and butter and our CRR folks, community risk reduction folks, to focus on is fire starting in the kitchen. And what these numbers tell me is that that's starting to work. And so we're happy with that, and we're going to keep on pushing that. We've started offering the auto outs. Is that what they're called?
Auto outs are available. Yeah.
To put under the hood systems or the vent systems in the kitchens. So if there is a fire started, it can be extinguished quickly without as much damage.
And we've seen some success stories out of those auto outs, especially some of these apartment complexes and condominiums around town are taking it upon themselves to put them up because you're containing a fire that could cost 8 or 9 people their homes to one kitchen. And we've already seen several success stories out of them.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. These apartment complexes is where we have our largest fire loss usually. And if you lose a 20 unit building, you're talking, $10 million. Where what are those things?
$30.
$30.
$30 for a set.
For an auto out can stop that and make it, $200, $300 in damage for cleanup and maybe a little paint. And we always get with our homeowners associations and our property managers, and we'll tell them if you'll buy them, we'll come and put them up for you or in conjunction with you, because at the end of the day, everybody's safer if we're staying in the fire station.
Yep. I got a call just the other day from an apartment complex who this gentleman, he said, we always provide our own smoke alarms. I just got a problem right now. I can't get them. Can you help me? And we work with partners with them all the time and said, hey, typically we don't put smoke alarms up in a commercial property, but we can come throw you one up in this apartment just to make sure those folks are safe tonight, and we'll worry about it on the back end and get it fixed. We have a good working relationship with them. So
yeah, we never, ever, ever want somebody to lay their head down at night without a working smoke alarm. So it doesn't matter where they live or who should be paying for it. We're going to get them a smoke detector or smoke alarm installed immediately, and we'll work the logistics out on the back.
Figure the details out later. And when you talk about these big commercial fires, we think about apartment complexes and things, but one of the big fires that had the whole town talking back in January, I think it was a commercial structure fire on Ramsey Street. And I just wanted to take a minute real quick to, again, we've already done it, but thank our community partners that stepped up during that fire. That was Ramsey Street, right? The storage facility?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. It was a cold night, and we had some community partners come out and take care of our responders. And we can never show our gratitude enough.
Yeah, the Red Cross and Rainbow Room, and I think Manna Church, and there's just a bunch of them come out there.
Rainbow Restaurant.
Rainbow Restaurant, yes. Rainbow Restaurant, Manna Church, Red Cross out. Just I do believe, as Captain Hill said, that cup of coffee was a godsend.
Yeah, and then a lot of the same groups and more showed up for the hotel fire we had in the second quarter.
I forgot about it, and that'll be in your next report talking about that. So. Very cool. And, we talked a lot right at the start, we talked about a majority being medical responses and just transitioning into that. One of the things that I noticed on here is the cardiac arrest responses. Again, numbers are going to go up and down month to month, but it's regardless of that number, it's an opportunity for us to talk about our hands-only CPR program and how you, on the street, everyday individual, can save a life, and we can help teach you how to do it. So.
Yeah, Chief Hill was the pioneer of that program before he left. His goal was to have, I think, 20,000 people. I can't remember.
10% of the population,
10,
which would be right about 20,000
we're still
people.
working on that, and we push that and we offer that at all of our community events. And if you'll call our community risk reduction division, they'll get you scheduled up to come out and teach it to your group. It's very simple. It takes
15 minutes.
15 minutes.
Yep.
And I mean, it's life changing. You can change somebody's life by knowing that skill.
And what I'm excited for is over the course, we're doing this study in partnership with Duke University. And over the course of this study, we hopefully will be able to show tangible results.
Yeah. And, a lot of people get grossed out by the mouth to mouth and all that, and they can't be doing all that stuff. And this is simply hands only chest compressions. And it does make a difference. So we encourage everybody to learn that.
And we know from our experience and our instincts that it's going to make a difference, but this is going to be a great chance for us to show tangibly with data that it is actually changing lives. So we're excited to be a part of it. And Miss Mary's out there killing it, teaching, no pun intended, teaching all the time out there.
Change the word in there a little bit.
But anyway, so past that, one thing that I am not well versed on, I've never been a hazmat guy, but our hazmat team I always sing their praises, being a regional response team. They're covering 11 counties in the state of North Carolina. Is there anything highlighting going on with them right now? Because it's not my wheelhouse.
They are busy as they've ever been. If I had a money tree, or if Dr. Hewitt had a money tree, I would... those guys, they're assigned to hazmat, but they're not assigned to the hazmat truck full time. They're actually on an engine and a medical squad during the day, and if they have a hazmat call, then they jump on the hazmat truck and go. And we're so busy to the point, our downtown station and our station on the west side that do hazmat responses. I mean, I would love to establish a standalone hazmat response. There's more to it because you have numbers for your response protocols and things like that. But that's something that we're looking at and trying to forecast for down the road. I'm planting that money tree as hard as I can and watering it, but it hasn't grown up yet.
Yeah. And we're in a partnership where the people think that money tree exists at the state level because we say we're a state team, but we have budgets at the state level just like we do at the local level, so it's only so much available. But they do help support the program.
A lot of people don't know this, and some people don't want to hear it, especially internally. The money the state gives us does not even cover the salaries.
Yeah.
Because our hazmat members make 5% additional to be on hazmat, and the money we receive from the state doesn't even cover that.
Yeah.
But they do provide us equipment and some vehicles and things like that, and it's just a worthwhile. People will hear that and then go, "Well, why you do it?" Well, we do it because we're top notch. We have the subject matter experts in our fire stations, and guess what? They're going to get to our stuff closer. So when there's an issue in our city, we got
right
it.
here.
We don't have to wait on somebody else to come. So that's why we do it.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of our people, we were super excited to report at one point that we were fully staffed, which has been staffing is a never-ending long road goal. It's never stopping, but it was really nice to be able to say that we were fully staffed as a result of the investments and commitments made by our leadership. But how are we coming up now? Because I know we got an academy starting up, and how's it looking?
We've got we had 3 retirements.
Yeah.
In June and July, guys that had served high 20s and 30 plus. Well, Captain Ivy served 40 plus years.
ACAT 30.
So we're happy to see those guys leave. We're not happy to see them leave, but we're happy to see them ready to leave and start the next chapter of their life and enjoy what they've worked hard for. That's the thing we always want. We want you to come and do your career and then leave healthy and happy, and financially stable enough to go and enjoy retirement. And that's what those guys are doing. We have had some resignations lately. We've lost a few to neighboring fire departments, and we've lost a few to just leaving the service. Mm-hmm. We're going to hire for an academy starting in September, October.
Yep.
And I'm thinking we're probably going to have 16-ish, yep. Including our 11 overhires.
And then that hiring process for 2027 at the exact same time.
Yeah. It's a revolving door. The fire service is cannibalizing itself in America right now. There's just not enough firefighters to go around. So if the city of Fayetteville is offering, $45,000, then the city down the street will offer $46,000, and the city up the street will offer $48,000. So we're having to get creative with our recruitment and retention, and we've got some stuff that we're working on to present to council in the FY28 budget. Some special separation allowance stuff that mirrors the police department. High Point and Greensboro already approved it this year, and some other municipalities are looking at approving it. So if we don't get on that bandwagon,
Gastonia is doing it too, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
And that takes care of our folks.
Yeah.
So that gives people a reason to stay here for 30 years. And I can talk more about that when it gets closer and becomes more of a reality. I'll be happy to talk more about that.
For sure.
But we're excited about that.
And the people that we do have, they're out there getting training nonstop. That's one of the things when you talk about being creative when I'm recruiting folks, is talking about the professional development and training that we offer that may not be available in other places, whether it's our partnership with the new FTCC facility or sending folks to really just cool training around the country. It was over 30,000 hours of training just in the first quarter between our folks.
Yeah, that's another misconception that people have about our business and our service. The training never stops.
Never.
Every day when these guys and girls come to shift, they have some type of training that they have to participate in just to maintain their certifications. That doesn't include learning new things. That's just to maintain. So when you add in learning the new things, it's just never ending. But our folks are committed, and we want them to know and have the best information and knowledge and skills and abilities. So, we got our foot on the floor for that one.
For sure. And one of the areas that we've focused on improving our fire marshal's office. We talked last time you were on, I think, about increasing staffing in the fire marshal's office. We've increased that by 4 inspectors, and last year we did that. Right. And now we're even focused on a career development plan for those inspectors as well, to make sure that they're staying up to date on all the code enforcement and stuff. We just approved that, right?
We got behind in the fire marshal's office, and it didn't happen overnight. It happened over several years. Again, that money tree. We need that money tree.
Yeah.
But as the city grew, we had the same amount of inspectors, and they just could not meet the state mandates that we do X amount of inspections, and it's on a percentage of our businesses. And some of them are 1 year, some of them are 3 years, some of them are 5 years. There's a whole big calculation.
Yeah.
And we just did not have enough people to do it. And, we took that to city leadership, and they said, oh, goodness. And when you put facts, facts get you a lot further than wants and needs, right? So when you put that in front of them, they react, and council supported it. And we've got those inspectors, and we are making leaps and bounds. And we also did some reorganization in the fire marshal's office. We have a plans review group now, a division of the fire marshal's office. And we've got fire inspections. And in fire inspections, they've got new inspections for new buildings and maintenance inspections for existing. So Fire Marshal McLaurin has done a great job. He's building his team. He's young and energetic. And he's doing a great job. And those guys the guys and girls are getting a hold of it. And we're happy to report we did get the career development plan for the FY27 budget. So it gives those folks opportunities to grow themselves personally and get a few extra bucks in their pocket.
Yeah.
So, that's some more recruitment and retention tools. So we're doing good.
And that's the biggest thing when you're recruiting folks is they want to know they have somewhere to go.
Yeah.
And this new plan gives people a path where they know they can improve their career and improve their pocketbook and move up, not just in the money aspect, but also in responsibility and training. And
Well, in the fire marshal's office, there's even less folks to go around. So the
Yeah.
cannibalism is real in the fire marshal's office. So we can't throw the money that some of these other bigger cities and municipalities can. So what else can we do to make them want to work in Fayetteville?
Yeah.
And that goes into creature comforts and different things, and this is just part of it.
Yeah. So speaking of the fire marshal's office and public code enforcement, we also look at public education more in my wheelhouse, and the firefighters on the street. Some of them may give me a little side eye with the amount of events we got going on right now because they're already so busy with all the calls that they're running and all the training that they're doing. And then here comes Captain Shake Shaft saying, "Hey, we got an educational event coming up." But they have been supportive, even when they give me the side eye. And it's crazy to think that in just 3 months' time, we're interacting with over 7,000 people just in community education events. That's not including calls.
Yeah. Community risk reduction is our number one thing, right?
Yeah.
It's not the sexy thing. It's not the stuff that makes the news, but it's got to happen. And this is one area we've kind of really focused on in the past 2 years since I've been the chief. We've brought in some civilian educators into our community risk reduction division and kind of refocused. And those ladies have paid dividends. And again, if that money tree was available, probably the first thing I would do is give them 1 or 2 more or 3 more positions, because the amount of people and lives they've touched and changed and accidents they've stopped from happening through their education, we'll never be able to collect it.
Yeah.
But when our folks do have to go out on the operations side and support the 2 ladies, because there's only 2 of them,
Yep.
210,000 plus people, we have to have the support from our operations group. And they gripe and groan, but they go because they know it's necessary. They know that if they can get out there and touch those folks and get a smoke alarm in or give somebody that knowledge, then they may be able to stay in bed tonight and not have to go to that fire or go to that fall.
Yeah.
So it's just what we do.
And I don't know of anybody who doesn't walk away with a smile on their face when they see a kid smiling with a pink fire helmet on.
That's what it's all
that
about.
That kid smiling, it makes the trip worth it.
That's what it's all about.
You know? So talking about, the prevention side of it, I talk with folks. Just talking the other day with somebody about, there's 6, I think, crime prevention specialists. So you look at the work that these 2 ladies are doing, just the 2 of them, and it's super impressive. And I couldn't be more proud of them getting out there and doing their thing with the support of firefighters, because they're out there with them.
No, they're fantastic, and that program is fantastic, and we're going to keep it. We're going to keep growing it. It's going to happen. Dr. Hewitt may not know it yet, but it's we got some plans. But he supports us great. I mean, it's
For sure.
We'll get there.
Speaking of plans going forward, as we wrap up the episode, we know we broke ground on Station 16, looking to see dirt moving on that shortly. Station 9's got some land. What are the big projects we got coming up?
We've got our hands full, but we're excited about it. Like you said, Fire Station 16, I'm probably going to leave here right now and go out there and see if they've dropped off tractors and stuff. They had some permitting issues, and it wasn't city or the contractor issues. It was some issues in the process. But we've got that resolved, and I told them last week if they weren't out there with shovels this week, I would be out there with a shovel this week. We're excited. The folks on Engine 16 have been in that little building for far too long. They've been troopers, but we are excited, and we have got to get them a building built. And it's coming. It's happening. I'm just not a patient person.
Yeah.
That one they expect to be in it by June of 27. So that's less than a year. We're going to have a functioning fire station, good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. Station 9 is in the, I think they call it schematic design phase. They're drawing plans. We had a meeting we meet weekly on these projects. We were looking at a 2-story option for nostalgia and something different. It's just not feasible. It's about $1 million more, and I just can't justify it with all the other projects going on. We were looking at some things for firefighter separation and recovery and different things, but it just wasn't feasible. So that one we hope to realistically break ground January of 27. So we're looking forward to that. Those folks are in the old Bonnie Doon Fire Station that we annexed in 96 or 97. Eight.
Yeah.
That station's got some age on it, and was never really built for full-time fire service. It was built for volunteers in and out. So we look forward to getting that. That's on Bonanza Drive, right in front of Westover Rec Center. You'll see a sign out there. The big one I'm excited about, the personal excitement about this, is the Haymont Fire Station. Built in 1941, it's the oldest operating fire station in the city. We are going to renovate that station. We did it took some long nights and talking with the city leadership, but they agreed to let us do a feasibility study on that building. The feasibility study came back. The bones and structure are sound and good. Probably couldn't build a new one as sound as they are. And so they're going to let us renovate it. We know it's always going to be a single engine house, so we don't have to worry about the growth. They're in the schematic design as well, and we're looking to start that project early 27 also. So I've got some of my executive staff. Each of us have a project, and I've kind of dabbled in all the projects, even though they probably don't care for that. I can't take on a project solely just because a lot of times I get pulled here and there, but I'm involved. I promise you that, probably more than they would like.
Yeah.
So we're excited. But that station, my vision for that station is 1941 on the outside, 2027 on the inside. And that's where we're heading. Everybody says it can be done.
Well, thank you, Chief, for coming down and joining me this month. And thank you for joining us on the Fayetteville Fire Podcast. Be sure to subscribe to Radio Fayetteville on all your favorite streaming platforms to listen to all of our podcasts. Join us again next month, but until then, stay safe, Fayetteville.